Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to another one. It's the season 2. We're in the season 2, episode 8 from the Beatdown Bandits podcast.
This is the best intro of all time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Beatdown Bandits podcast, season 2,
Beatdown
episode
Bandits
8.
podcast.
I'm totally using this, so this is perfect.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we don't even know what's happening.
I'm fading like always. I love it.
Perfect. So perfect. I am Colin. With me today is Cameo. Is this your third episode you've been on?
I think it's my third time. Yeah,
I think so. Third or fourth?
Might be fourth. Or...
You were in. It doesn't matter.
Might be even the fourth. Yeah, you could be actually right.
I think it's 4.
Hi guys, I'm back again.
Yeah.
I hope you like me. If not, then I don't know. Then I guess we just have to deal with it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They'll deal with it anyway. So, and every time Cameo is in one of my videos, there is a description. Oh my god, we are just blowing this whole thing. There is a link in the description to his channel. Oh Jesus!
We are professionals.
Yeah,
and again, thank you much. Thank you very much.
You can tell like we have to do like 800 takes of stuff to get something right. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, there's a link to his channel in the description below. Oh man, I nailed it that time. So yeah, you can go check him out. Channel is amazing and growing. That's super
Thank you very
exciting.
much.
So yeah, so we got to get you to that monetized.
Slowly but growing.
Yes, so that's what she said. Joking there somewhere, but yeah, it's doing really well. So super excited for it. Also, my neighbor next door is currently mowing, and I can hear him getting closer to my house. So apologize if you can hear that in the background.
Time to get that mohawk.
Yeah. So anyway, I have my notes here, and in today's episode of the Beatdown Bandits podcast is one you can see over my shoulder here is Apex is booming. Right? Like, I mean, and this is in credit to Cameo. This was his idea. Like, should we discuss this? Because I feel like it's important, and it is. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised because of the amount of other games that are like it out there. And man, this guy's mower is really kicking into full force.
But I think you are actually fine. So. Right now, I cannot hear it, so I don't think that anybody else should be able to hear it. So I guess you're fine.
Perfect. So, yeah, I mean, you may have had a different phrase, but like Apex is booming. It seemed okay for me. Did you have something different? I think you said something different.
I think something about why is Apex getting so popular right now. I think that's what I just said, but I mean it's basically the same. Yeah, why is Apex booming?
So I have with me in my handy dandy notebook right here a
that man is prepared.
I am always prepared. Yeah, I always have a whole bunch of notes. And but I always find like I skip over things, like I scribble down stuff and I don't like read it word for word, and I always miss something. So I'm gonna do better today. So I'm gonna say let's just like jump right into this, and we can discuss each one. I have about 8 things here, but I have like a 1A and a 1B and a 2A and a 2B, and then the rest are numbered. So there's technically 6 things, with the first groupings kind of being paired together because they're very much related. So let's jump right into this. Is right now, my first theory of why Apex is kind of booming and so popular is there's just no great games out. And 2021 honestly doesn't look that great either. And the games that were supposed to be like super massive during like the last 2 years just haven't been super big. Like Cyberpunk was like the first example I could think of like a game that's like, oh, this is supposed to be like the best thing ever, and it was kind of meh. It was cool, but I'm not gonna waste too much time on it. So, thoughts on that?
Okay, yeah. Oh, so first of all, I think you're actually right. So Cyberpunk was not really the game we were all hoping for. I mean, it was still great, at least in my opinion. I liked it and still have not finished it. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
still have to finish that game.
I doubt many
But
have.
yeah. Um, but the thing is, you are right, because there haven't been a lot of at least great multiplayer games. I
Hmm.
mean, there have been some in the past. Like I don't even know this game right now from Ubisoft. I think it was something called about hyperspace, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was handled like if it were going to be a really big game, but yeah, it really turned out to be kind of shit, to be honest. So I don't know.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, and I think another thing to this is also that Fortnite is more and more declining.
Hmm.
So I guess it's just, I guess just it has been out for too long right now, and people are just getting people are just getting bored by it. That's just my assumption to it. And yeah, that's the thing why Apex is getting more and more popular right now. I think because this game is at least newer than Fortnite,
Hmm.
and I guess you cannot also not really compare it. I guess my thing about was I don't know. I cannot really explain this because Apex is a game that feels so different. It feels more like an old school shooter, I would almost say. So yeah, guess it's not the best example, but I mean, even if you try to compare it with Warzone, it feels so much different. Warzone almost feels more a little bit like Battlefield, maybe.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
does.
just yeah, and yeah, I think the basic yeah, I mean you are just right because there's not really a lot of competition right now, but still the game is still good, great, and
Mhm.
it's doing better and better, and all the seasons are still getting better. So I guess it's the perfect time for Apex right now.
Yeah, yeah. And if you look at like the 2021 games coming out, like there's just nothing. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's perfect time for something like that to just continue to hang on. So my one B, which is related, is of why Apex is so popular now is COVID. So
Oh,
I made notes because like all developers are at home, which means the games, which kind of relates back. This is why it's one B and not just a whole nother thing. Is the games have declined because developers are trying to work from home, so the games just haven't been able to be as updated as quick, as accurately, and just the new games have been delayed. And also because of COVID, people are trying to save money. And with Apex being free to play, it's very tempting for kids to just grab that, or parents to say, I don't really want to spend $60-$70 on a game, so hey, there's a free game out there, why don't you play that? And so I thought that may be a whole nother reason,
yeah.
which makes sense.
Mean it actually would make sense. Yeah, I think so too. So, um, the thing is, but I also have to say it might not be even only COVID because I mean it could be, but I mean if you're just talking about COVID and pe- people are therefore playing more, that would also mean that uh, people also play more of different games and not just Apex.
Yeah,
Or that's what I was would think of it, and therefore I don't know. But it could definitely increase the popularity of overall Apex in all games. That's for sure. Yeah.
yeah. And with people playing more games, they're realizing just how crappy all the other games are, so they're just kind of coming back to Apex. There's just not that great stuff. So my number two, which is kind of ties in back to these, and you kind of hinted at it, is they're not super fresh and new, but Warzone and Fortnite, they're just not as popular as they used to be. So those are on the decline, and I think for maybe March or April, was the first time the number one game on Twitch that was being streamed was Apex. Like it had
Oh,
taken over all the other stuff. So it was, I think, for a brief time. I don't know if it still is, but it was a brief time where the number one game had actually become Apex. Um, and yeah, so I think the overall increase in that, and I think Warzone is still just decreasing with
yeah.
the players. So yeah, people I think are just bored of those. I don't know if the content's just not as fresh. I haven't played Warzone, and man, I feel like a year, maybe not quite that long, but it's been a long time. Maybe 7 months. I can't even remember. And then Apex, but Fortnite I haven't played for probably 4 years.
Yeah, me
So
too.
yeah, it's been a long time, and I was never good at it. I've maybe played 80 games of Fortnite, and that's probably pushing it. So
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know what is actually going on with Apex, but like you just said, at least this game for me never feels kind of old. It always seems kind of fresh. So, like you just said before, when I play Warzone, a couple of matches after those is always seems to, or I, yeah, I don't know, the fun for me just starts to decline maybe, and it's just I don't know, it's just more of the same. And at least from Apex, it always feels like with every new season, there's coming new great stuff and all that shit. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, no, I agree 100%. And there's something with me, and I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of other people out there. But like with Warzone, I can't speak to Fortnite, but with Warzone, like it's so loud to me, or like I just get so distracted with the sounds because it's like you're literally in a war zone. So it's maybe like too hyper realistic where like I walk away from it with like migraines of like, oh my God, like this is just not that I'm like stressed or sweating so much or anything like that to try to get a win, because half the time I just don't care. But it's just so loud, like it's just super distracting to me. And like even like the multiplayer, which I used to play a lot when that first came out, I played a lot of like just the new Modern Warfare, just the multiplayer. And then when Warzone dropped, I played a lot of Warzone. But really just the first couple months of it, I haven't, like I said, I haven't gone back to it really since I became re-addicted to Apex. So
Mm.
oh well. And something else that I see a lot of, and I've seen it a couple times because, like, I mean, yeah, at least you play on PC or whatever, and you'll see cheaters every once in a while. It's not super often, but I hear a lot of complaints on like either Twitch or Twitter or whatever, where people complain of like, oh my God, there's so many cheaters on in Apex or whatever, and I can't even enjoy the game. But like if they go to other games, I think they'll realize like they're even running more rampant in other games. And like you're forced. I mean, at least for like console players, like it's pretty much next to impossible to cheat. Um,
Yeah.
so like they have that advantage, but like in Warzone, they're forced multiplayer. And there is in Warzone, it's 10 times worse than I've ever seen in Apex. So I know a lot of people get very frustrated with that. So Warzone, for those of you that like the people that complain about cheaters in Apex, it's worse over there. I don't think you hear as many complaints because of probably just the communities you're involved in. Like a lot of the people like I follow on Twitter and stuff are a lot more involved in Apex than anything else. So those are the complaints I hear, and I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Like I mean, I played, I don't know, thousands of games on PC in Apex. Well, maybe not thousands, but 500 games, we'll say, in on PC, and I've maybe seen 3 or 4 cheaters. Like
Mm.
I don't know. It's pretty small amount. Like how often do you feel like you see cheaters? Like for sure.
It's actually hard to tell. I think, at least in my case, I sometimes I at least say or think that I encountered a cheater, but then I'm still not sure. So it's
Yeah.
actually hard to tell. So I would agree with you. There are not really that much cheaters, at least not in the ranks where we play. So in plat, diamond. But as far as I heard, at least in the predator ranks, cheating seems to be kind of a big problem there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what I cannot confirm because I'm the predator.
Yeah, I'll never get there. But yeah, I mean, that's something I've seen like some videos on of like pred lobbies, and these like professional players are running through pred lobbies, and then they die to like a bronze player. Like, well, how the hell is a bronze player with 12 kills running around in pred lobbies?
Yeah.
In ranked? Like, how does this happen? And yeah, that's the biggest problem. I was talking with somebody like I don't know, this was maybe like a month ago. We were talking about like how do you fix that? And to me, it seemed obvious. It's like, well, you make ranked like at level 10. Why don't you just start ranked at like level 50? Like the cheaters are not going to create a new
That's true.
account and grind it to level 50 just to get into pred lobbies. They
Yeah.
can cheat to level 10 in a couple games, but level 50 is, that's too much time just to do that. So
Yeah.
it seemed like a quick fix to me. All
Yeah.
right. Anything else on that?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, I guess it would be a solid solution, but for example, I know a guy who is still at around level 20 or 25, and he's only really playing ranked sometimes. And I know for a fact that if you would have to be level 50 to play ranked, I guess he would never ever touch the game again because he really is because you really only want to play ranked games and not quick matches.
Okay.
So I guess it would be maybe a problem because there could be more people who are thinking like this, so that they really only want to play a ranked game. And if you forbid him to play, that might be a problem.
Well, I mean, honestly, the ultimate fix for Respawn is not allow bronze players into Predator lobbies. And like, there's I don't know how that becomes a thing, but I'm sure there's some type of glitch and hack that they can use to get into that. But that's the ultimate fix, I think, is to do that. But yeah, I mean, you're going to disappoint people regardless, I think, of whatever level you make it. So, if you make it level 50, the people who are below that, and if you make it level 20, the people below that are going to get frustrated. So, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be somebody, but I don't know. Seemed like a good point or a good fix to me, but I can't imagine, like, if he's playing ranked in level 25, like I can't imagine him not hitting 50 pretty quick. So
Yeah,
I
this could
don't know.
be. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
I
I mean, I
how
don't.
many games does it take to get to level 50? Like if you just jump
I think that
into,
actually takes quite a while to reach 50.
so maybe
So
50 is too aggressive.
I I mean, I have a second account, and I don't know which level this is, 30 or something, and I already played quite a lot on it, so it actually takes a while to get to 50.
So maybe it's like level 25 or something.
Yeah, maybe
So
it's
maybe that's it. Yeah.
just just cut it in half, and we would be all happy and fine.
Perfect. Find that happy medium. Okay, so I got through 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. So now on to reason number 3 that Apex is booming is just new content. I think the new content, the events, the lore, and then not to mention like the operators and stuff that have come out with Horizon. And I think that brought in actually probably brought in new players just having Horizon in there, because she's so OP, and I think people are like, oh my god, there's a legend that can fly and has a black hole, to me, I would think that maybe have attracted some people. And she had a really unique backstory. And then Fuse was like likable. While he wasn't obviously the best legend, I think he's at like the worst win rate, as a matter of fact. But he's very likable and has great personality. So I think a lot of people are just, you know, wanted to play him regardless. And he had a good trailer. I think all of his like the trailer and all the stuff with Maggie or whatever, like a lot of people liked. I think his event was at Chaos, the Chaos event or Chaos Theory or whatever it was somehow more popular, like 3 times more popular than the Fight Night trailer or whatever on YouTube, and which was crazy to me. But
Yeah.
the new stuff brings him in. So
Yeah. I don't know, man. I say this a little bit too often. So the thing is, I guess what was always Respawn's strong thing was um, even back in the day, they had always kind of new ideas to make the field game new and fresh. For example, the game released and had the idea that you can actually respawn your friends or your allies.
yeah,
And that idea was so successful that every other game, if I'm correct, took that idea.
correct. Yeah,
And so far, it has always been this case that they, most of the time, introduce new ideas that actually make the game more fun again and make it feel fresh again. And I guess that's part of the success, that if new content comes, it doesn't feel like more of the same. Like, for example, like I assume it would be in Warzone. But yeah, that's my that would be my assumption.
yeah. I think it was like the next season or maybe the season after that Fortnite did the whole respawn thing. I don't know how theirs works. I know they implemented it, but I don't know how it works like specifically.
Yeah.
And Warzones was a little more unique. I liked Warzones because you had to like fight your way out to get back in. So you don't necessarily have to respawn them, but the
Oh yeah,
person who
yeah,
dies
okay.
has to earn their way out of like the gulag or whatever. So
Oh yeah, okay.
that was a clever idea, and I kind of thought that respawn might do that. Like if like your banner times out or something like that, like you could, you know, have a 1v1 against some. I don't know. That might be stretching it, but I found that to be an interesting concept with
Oh yeah.
Warzone. Um, and oh yeah, not even mentioning like season 9 stuff. Now I don't know if like Valk is gonna bring like new people into Apex, or is a reason why Apex would be booming. But I think the arenas is probably just gonna make Apex even continue to grow.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like people will install Apex just for arenas. Like, I'm sick of the whole battle royale thing, but a 3v3 like tournament style and a little more esports friendly. It may actually work, and I'm curious how esports with Apex is going to work going forward. I would assume they're going to stick with the battle royale stuff, but they may have 2 versions where it's like, oh, we have the arenas Apex and we have the battle royale Apex. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, they definitely did a smart move with that because,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, for example, all the people that are playing, let's say, Valorant,
Yep.
I guess they don't really want to play battle royale, and now is the point where they actually can play the game because they just can 3 versus 3 in the arena mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a really good idea to bring this in. Might just make the game even more successful in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And the interesting thing with like the arenas versus the battle royale aspect is it takes that RNG out of it. So
Yeah.
it would be interesting if they like straight up and hopefully like we can get to the point of having like forgetting this online stuff and actually doing the stuff all in person again. So I'm kind of looking forward to that happening again. But it would be interesting to get like, okay, we've got like we did our playthrough of the battle royale. We have our like top 10 teams. Now they play in a tournament of of the arenas, and now you would straight up know who was the best. So
Yeah.
it takes that RNG and all that luck out of it, like a landing spot, and like there's no good guns, there's no good attachments, there's garbage loot here. But the team next to us, who we know we're better than, they landed on a bunch of purples and R301s, so we're screwed. So yeah, I like that it takes that luck out of it. Although, like, I don't know for you, I played like maybe 3 or 4 games of arenas. I just got my butt kicked. So it was sweaty on the first day. So I have not played it since the drop. So we're filming this on Friday. So yeah, game dropped on Tuesday, or the new season dropped on Tuesday. I guess I played it on Wednesday, so it'd been like 24 hours later. Although if you take out the broken season 9 start. But yeah, it was first day technically, and yeah, I played. I can't remember. It was 3 or 4 games. Won a handful of rounds, but that's it. It was not super easy, although I did not get good teammates. I can tell you that much. So I did kind of get unlucky there. But if you're squatted up and your team is good, yeah, you could be able to like obliterate people in arenas.
Yeah. And the thing is, so far I have not played arenas, so I cannot really tell you my real-time gaming playing experience. But what I at least can say just from the trailer was, I don't know, was something out of both. As so was something out of both worlds. It was still playing Apex with all your abilities, but it was also a little bit, for example, like Counter-Strike, because you had your you still have your abilities and your weapons, but you have to pay for them, and that is a really cool way to introduce more strategies into the game, because you even have to pay with pay with your materials to be able to unlock your abilities for the fight. So that is a really cool idea, I think. But yeah, I kind of have to agree with you, because I think especially the arenas can get really sweaty.
Yeah, I thought like with it being first day, you'd have a mix, but it was super sweaty. At least the teams that we got matched up with, like, oh my god, they were going pretty crazy, and there was, I want to say, probably half of the rounds I was having to fight 1v3, and that's not easy. So I was like, and my teammates were there. Nobody left on my team or the other team. But it was just like, oh, down dead, and like here I am trying to fight 1v3 all the time. So not good. I can clutch some 1v2s, but 1v3s is just so hard.
Yeah,
especially with like limited
fun
stuff. Like in that, like you may not have the best guns, and yeah, it makes it interesting. So yeah, I worry arenas is going to get real sweaty in about 2 or 3 months. Like it's just going to be loaded with the best people. All right. So anything else with like the new content or fresh content?
New content. I mean, if we're talking about season 9, the one
anything, yeah.
I'm just thinking about it again, because I mean, we obviously got the arena, but so far there wasn't really that much change, except of this. I mean, yeah, okay, we got the bow, which is still kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what I'm maybe missing about the content or the battle royale. So, I mean, if you would say season 9 would have not come with the arena, then I would really say that season 9 would have been bad. But
yeah,
but so far like this, it's still great. And I mean, I guess we already talked about it, but I'm not entirely sure that we are still getting the split, and it almost feels like they're still saving something for the split. So
probably,
that they did, yes, so that they did not push out everything just from the beginning. So
Yeah, because like they've had a lot of stuff, not even come into the split, but like come like halfway in between splits. Like crossplay
oh yeah,
was one
yeah.
of those things. Like they just dropped crossplay. I don't think it was at the split. It was like season 6. I think it was
Yeah,
season
also
season
not.
5 or season 6.
Yeah, I think it was season 6. I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah, it was season 6 because that was like my worst season ever. Like I think I played like almost 2.5 times the amount of games in season 8 that I did in season 6. Like I was having a struggle of a season. It was just so boring. Like there was
Yeah.
just not enough content. Like who was that would have been Rampart. So yeah, it was a rough rough season. There just
I mean,
wasn't, and
yeah.
I think we were all hoping for a new map in season 6 because it was like, okay,
Oh
season
yeah.
3, World's Edge. So every 3 seasons they're going to drop a new map, and it didn't come until season 7. So yeah, that was a whole nother frustration. It's like no new map. Like the new map changes on World's Edge were okay, but not enough for a whole season. So
Yeah.
that was a rough season for me. Anyway,
Rampart.
oh man, that was just not enough content from her.
No, not really.
So you mentioned something, so I'm going to skip one because you mentioned the bow. So
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, we're perfect. So I'm gonna transition right into weapons
Yeah.
and the guns. Like I feel like there's like extremely unique guns. Like that's something I always noticed in like Call of Duty was like I felt like guns were just they were maybe like more realistic, but just not unique enough for me. But like when
Oh
you come
yeah.
to Apex, like everything is drastically different. They all fire different. They're all different to me, and they're all fun to use and fun to play. The attachments are easy to figure out and use and know what you like. Like PUBG was like one where it was like I don't know how to do any of this. Like PUBG was what it was just like this is just a cluster. But now you've added a bow, which honestly, like bringing a bow into a game like this, I'm like the bow is gonna be garbage. But but it was. I mean, I've played a handful of games with it, and it's hella fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I noticed. Like the games that you and I played, like anytime I'm running out in the open, I can hear arrows flying by my head. Like it's like, and then that'll fizzle out a little bit. And eventually I'm gonna start getting bullets whizzing by my head again, and not so many arrows. But it's so funny. Like everybody's Robin Hood, just shooting down at you. So you can hear all these. So I'll guarantee, like the bow, with that being so different and unique and coming out pretty powerful, that people are coming to Apex just like I got to try out this bow.
Oh
I
yeah.
played I played Apex back in season 3, and like I can't imagine a bow working, so I got to jump back into it. And so I could see people coming back just for a bow.
Oh yeah, definitely, because the bow is so much fun. I love the bow.
It is. I haven't messed around too much with like the hop ups on it, but the bow itself is super fun.
Oh yeah.
I can hit my shots with that. Like the drop off is like if you get it drawed enough, the drop off is so minimal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, as long as they're like you have somebody close to the crosshairs, like just slightly below, you're perfectly fine. Yeah, so
But yeah,
it's super fun.
but I have to say you made a really, really, really good point on this, because all the weapons I never really thought about this in that way, but you are actually right. The guns feel so different, and I mean, if you compare it to Warzone, all the weapons feel, at least in Warzone, like almost the same or not really. And like you just said, in I mean, in Apex, even if we, for example, talk about one specific group of weapons, for example, let's say, I don't know, the light machine. No, no, the heavy assaults. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it. I mean, if we compare, for example, the Hemlock with the Flatline, they feel completely different,
Yeah.
and they are still both fun to play. And I guess the one thing that I still want to say, and I don't know if this is maybe even something for later, but do you still want to talk about the gunplay overall?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can. We have time. We're on that topic. So yeah, I'd say go ahead.
Because I guess that is maybe just the most important thing for first person. First
Yeah.
person shooter is actually the gunplay, and the gunplay for Apex Legends is just, I mean, at least for me, so much fun. The gunplay feels, I don't know, it's really hard for me to explain. It's just, I mean, oh God, okay, I have to shut up for a second. Sorry. It's
Yeah.
just the game is so much fun to play, at least for me. I mean, you can also compare this, I think, to Destiny. I don't know if you ever played Destiny,
A little bit. Yeah.
but I mean, it's the same. The gunplay and the gameplay, therefore, is so cool and so fluently, and that's the same for Apex, I would say, because yeah, I don't know. I I I, I guess I'm just maybe a fanboy of the game, but but yeah,
Well, and it reminded me a lot of Halo, which, Halo had like really excellent guns and guns that were fun to use. They were all unique and different. Like they had like the Needler and all that stuff. Like everything was so unique.
oh yeah,
But yeah, you go to Warzone and it all feels a little the same. You go to something like Fortnite, it feels like a little too cartoonish or something. I'm not sure what phrase I want to use there,
yeah,
but just a little less realistic. Where
yeah,
yeah, in a first person shooter, where yeah, you're literally looking at the gun, and the gunplay is so important in a battle royale that um, yeah, I mean, to have like good guns that are maybe not even necessarily like well balanced, but like people can just pick up and use is super important.
yeah,
So yeah, I think it's got a lot of I don't know, um, potential for like people who are like new to be able to just pick up and go
yeah.
too. So like that makes it super easy too with the guns.
I mean, do you still want to plan to talk about something about the abilities? And if not, then I would just throw it in here.
Yeah, and we can. So because like you hinted also, and like I've mentioned this before, probably like even in podcasts or videos or whatever, that like the movement to me, like that's what draws me to Apex, is it's so fast and fluid, and you can just like you can get from point A to point B in all sorts of unique ways, depending on who your legend is or whatever, or
Yeah,
what or who you're paired with. That to me, I think is something that's so much more fun in Apex, and thank God there's no fall damage as well. But like that's something that costed me so many times in Fortnite was the fall damage.
yeah.
And I don't. Is there still fall damage in Fortnite?
I guess so. Yeah,
Okay. I would. It would be 10 times worse now if I went to Fortnite, because I would be jumping off of everything, and yeah, not good. I died in Red Dead. Last time I played Red Dead, like 2 weeks ago, I died jumping off of the roof of something, thinking I'll survive this. Nope, deader than a doornail. So yeah, it's super fluid, super fun, and like you mentioned, the abilities. So
yeah,
do you have something you want to say about the abilities?
yeah. The thing is just, I guess, I think we already talked about this in a prior podcast, if I'm correct, and I'm not entirely sure, but it's here again the abilities. I think back then I also talked about Overwatch, if I'm correct, and at least that was one of the big important things why Overwatch at least was for me such a cool game, was that you actually had different characters with different abilities. It made
Hmm.
it's hard for me to explain, but it's just you. How can I explain this? I mean, if you just compare this again to maybe Warzone, that it's just like you are not playing always the same character, or like 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 everybody's not playing the same
Yeah,
character, and
yeah.
they I oh man, I mean the
You're
abilities
saying it
just
right. Yeah, you're saying it right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, Warzone, it doesn't matter. Fortnite, it doesn't matter. You're just wearing a skin.
yeah,
So the people don't necessarily matter. There's a
and
lot like Rainbow Six. I don't think you ever played Rainbow Six,
no, I did not, unfortunately.
but that's why I liked Apex is I loved Rainbow Six. I wasn't very good, but I loved it because like you kind of match up like your five teammates. Like we have somebody who can breach walls, we have somebody who can set traps, we have somebody who can do this. So it was important to match up your five skills with your four other teammates to be able to compete against the other team that has all sorts of their own abilities. So Apex to me combined Rainbow Six and Fortnite and put those abilities into a battle royale, which nobody else was doing.
Yeah,
So at least at the time. So it's that to me was super cool.
I mean, uh, one quick thing on that, uh, because I already talked about this, but again, this hyperspace game,
Mm-hmm.
I've I'm not entirely sure because I did not play it, but I think you also, or I think at least the characters had maybe abilities. I'm not entirely sure, but I think you at least had some kind of different classes, I think.
Yeah.
And that just shows again that it's cool to have that, but still the gunplay and the gameplay has to be fun. And if this
Yeah.
is not the case, the game will just not succeed like the hyperspace game.
Yeah. This is like a Valorant to me as well. Like
Oh yeah,
it's not as fluid, I don't think, and that's why I'm still like really attracted to Apex is because of just how fluid you can move from one side to another. And I know Valorant's third person, but I don't know. And I've never been good at first person shooters. Like I was never really good at Rainbow Six, but uh, and I still like I'm not good at Apex either. But it's
oh
still like
no, come
super
on.
fun games to me. And so yeah, the FPS stuff. It was like Halo. Like I would never like really play Halo online because I would just get obliterated. But even just playing like the single person or the single player like campaign stuff was super fun.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean it's like the Call of Duty stuff. Like I didn't do a whole lot of Call of Duty online, but I loved all the stories, and especially like the Modern Warfare stories. Like those were just amazing.
oh yeah, MV2 the best. Or
Yeah,
yeah.
they're all really good. The whole soap storyline is just fantastic. I love all that. All right. So moving on here. And I wanted to dig into esports a little bit more to check like the popularity and stuff, but I wanted to discuss like ALGS. I don't know if it's brought in like new people, but I know like they're like the last ALGS, which would be like the whole like spring circuit or whatever they're doing now. Um, I think it was like their most popular one ever, and it like tripled in size from like the previous one or something. At least on Twitch. I know they were doing like Twitch drops, which helps as well, but just the fact that they're like tripled in size from the previous event is pretty massive.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And I don't know, do you watch all the ALGS?
N- Not really, but I watch them sometimes if I have enough time. And when I watch them, I honestly have to say they are quite fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. It's unique gameplay because like you don't feel like you're. I mean, you know you're watching like the best players in the world, and but it's like you would think like it would be just total chaos, but
Yeah.
you get down to like the fourth round and it's like 17 squads remaining. Like normally like the end like in a pubs game like end of round one there's like five teams remaining, so it's like holy crap, it's dramatically different. And because there's a lot more on the line, so people aren't doing dumb things, people aren't pushing like crazy, they're trying to be a lot more strategic. And um now I know like without like the Watson meta it's a little less campy, but people are still they're trying to get to the center of the ring and get set up as quickly as possible. But yeah, it's the ALGS. Like I think I've watched them all. I don't get to watch them all like live. Like I don't want to sit down live for 8 hours and try to watch something. So I usually just like go back and watch it over a couple of days on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I've got an hour. I'll try to bust out a little bit here and try to watch the next couple matches. And so I usually watch that. But like I feel like the casting is really good. I like a couple of them, like Fallout, Rain Day. Like those guys to me have been like just amazing doing the casting. So I like that, and I feel like they've done a really good job with it. So especially being remote and everybody trying to do it from home, like I feel like the ALGS they've killed it. I don't want to give too many props to Respawn or anything, but yeah, I feel like they killed the ALGS. Like they did a really good job.
Yeah, the thing is, I have a question for you, and I don't know if you already said it in the beginning. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but when now with the introduction of the arena mode, what do you think? Will we still see only Battle Royale LGS, or will we see both, or will we even only see in the future only arena LGS?
Yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, I hinted at it earlier, like, and there's possibilities with it where they could do
Yeah.
both. I don't think they would. Like, I thought it would be interesting if like they did a battle royale, like 6 games and the top 10 squads compete in arenas in a tournament or something. But like that doesn't seem fair. So yeah, I feel like they're going to do both. Like you have to qualify. You can qualify for either or. So it's like if you're a really good team and you can qualify for arenas and battle royale, then so be it. But yeah, I feel like battle royale or the arenas is going to prove like who the like legit best team is, because it does take out that luck aspect. So yeah, there's going to be less complaining, I think, if the esports aspect of Apex Legends turns into arenas only. Those are some of the biggest complaints I hear is, oh, they landed on our spot and now we got a 50-50, so that kind of sucks. So,
but yeah, I mean, the strangest thing for me was in the LGS battle in this battle royale thing for Apex is that teams are landing and just go and then going to one specific location and just camp there the whole time and just wait for the ring. And I mean, it's strategy, but it's still, at least in my opinion, it seems a little bit lame to I mean, we are talking about pro players who are just camping to get some points. I mean, I don't know if this is the way it should be.
Well, I think you have to walk a fine line, and I'm in no way can I even begin to discuss like strategy for the ALGS. But yeah, like I've seen it both ways. Like I've seen teams like TSM who won like the in-person tournament in Poland. They were a very quick rotation team, and it's like, okay, we land, we scan beacon, and we get to that where we think that circle is going to be. Nasky, Strafe, and Dell, they did it in the EU in the fall circuit, I think, and then they broke up. I think like Strafey went to another team, but when Nasky, Strafey, and Dell won, they're still known like Nasky. They're cooler, and I think they just changed their name again. But Nasky is known as one of those guys who rotates extremely fast and just sets up. And it's worked very well for them because like they won a circuit just by doing that. But then you see teams like, at least in like in North America, like Complexity, who they play outside the zone and they force their way in. So they may not win tons of matches, but they get all the kill points. So they're finishing in third place with like 12 kills, and then the team that won may have only had like 4 kills. So like you have to find that, I think, happy medium of like the best way to get top 5 every time is to find the zone and get into where the ring is going to end.
Yeah.
But you got to get those kills. So I think you gotta find that happy medium. I think that's what and I'm not a huge fan. I'm not gonna hold up, but like TSM now with like snipe down, like it's a really unique combination because like Imperial Hal, who's like really good, but he has that tendency of wanting to camp and be a little bit more slow. And then you have like people like Snipe Down, who's like, no, let's go kill this guy, let's go kill this guy, let's go kill this guy, and they fight all the time. They're
Okay.
always screaming at each other. If you like watch any of their streams together, they're just constantly screaming at each other because they disagree so much. But I think it works for them because like they get set up, but then they're able to get those kills, and so
Okay.
it's worked really well for that team to rotate fast and be aggressive. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of them or anything. I used to like Snipe Down before he joined TSM, but yeah, I'm just not a big TSM fan. So yeah, solo fide
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah. I mean, I might have just to retract at least a little bit what I said prior, because I mean, at least this opens I mean, this at least opens up for a little bit more variety so that
Mm-hmm.
people can play this way or this way and still get points. So
Yeah,
I guess it makes it just a little bit, more. Yeah, I don't know.
it's fun regardless. But yeah,
Yeah.
going back to like your first question, I don't know. I guess it gives them the possibility of having two types of esports, and I
Oh yeah.
think they would be like the first game to kind of do that, which
That
is
would
pretty
be,
cool.
yeah.
And I heard the rumors that they're opening it up for console. So not only that, I don't know if it's gonna be like a separate tournament or how they're doing that, but like console is now included in their stuff. So shout out to us console noobs. we can participate in cool things too. So yeah, pretty nice. So anyway, my last talking point for this is the expansion into other platforms. And I think the crossplay aspect was big. But then obviously adding into Switch, which I don't think went great at the beginning, but it sounds like they've settled in. But I think Switch is pretty massive for them because it opens them up to like I think like a whole new demographic of people who like either don't have PCs or consoles, because I think Switch is the cheapest console by far.
Yeah.
So you open up to other people who just can't afford it, and then it probably opens up to like a lot of like 10 to 16-year-olds who like maybe don't have one, but they have a Switch at home. And then like with the expansion of mobile, like whenever that's supposed to happen, that honestly might be their biggest platform because everybody has phones, and if it's free, I'll get it on my phone. It's gonna suck like in comparison, but I'll guarantee I'll have it on my phone. It's like that way
Yeah.
I can play anywhere. I don't have to have my crap with me. I have my phone with me 24/7, so I can play Apex all the time. So hopefully crossplay does not happen with mobile. Like I cannot imagine trying to go up against anybody sitting there trying to play on my phone. That would be rough. So it's got to be mobile only. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to start hooking up controllers to my
So
my phone. It's like I just got 28 kills. Yes.
he's cheating. He's cheating.
Can you imagine? It's like the first time I saw somebody on the Switch play. Who? Oh, it was Zilbrad. Like he put out a video when when the Switch dropped or whatever. He put out a video on it, and obviously it's like crappier quality, but it was so funny because he's like running around. I think he got a 20 bomb, but like normally he's so fast with his movements, but like he's moving and rotating like super slow, trying to get kills. It's so funny.
Yeah, and my brother played Apex, or at least tested Apex on Switch too, and he said it were it has been his worst experience with Apex so far.
I'm not surprised, but like people who've never played, like they have no idea. I
Yeah,
mean, like
true.
I don't know if I would want to play it on the Switch if it's that bad, but I'm sure I'm gonna get frustrated on mobile whenever that does drop. I'm sure I'm gonna hate it, but
Oh, boy,
I'll
oh
still
god, yeah.
play. So I'll be up until like 4 a.m. every night, like sitting there doing that. But especially if they
Also,
get progression, like that would be interesting.
so the
Keep
thing
those
is,
stats
because
going.
we have crossplay, we should technically be able to play with Switch players, right?
I
Or
don't.
not?
I think they can enable it, but it's only console. I have
Oh, okay.
never seen a Switch player. So if I'm just playing solo, and for those of you who don't know, I usually play on Xbox. Uh, it shows the icon of what they're on. I don't think I've ever seen like the logo for a Switch or
Yeah.
whatever. So, but that doesn't mean like typically like PlayStation players just show up with a controller. But I've played with some bad randoms, but typically I would think you could tell if somebody's on a Switch, like they're just spinning super slow, always falling like an hour behind on the other side of the map or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I have, and it's like the randoms that I'm just yelling at. Like, oh my god, these guys are idiots. What are they doing?
They are
Just
playing
9
on
times out of
Switch.
10. Yeah, Switch player. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I'm not positive of what their crossplay is like. I don't know if it's Switch only and they have no crossplay. I don't know. I I I I don't know. Maybe we need to test this and see if you can do crossplay with anybody. Seems like a good test.
Oh yeah, both playing on Switch, best content ever.
Oh man, it'd be frustrating. All right. Well, I mean, do you have any other reasons or thoughts about why Apex is booming? I don't have anything
Um,
else jotted down, but
my sum up for this would be just right now it's the perfect storm for Apex because all things come kind of together because it's still a great good game and there's no competition, right? Or not really.
yes.
I mean, there's still competition, but so far we also have not heard about games that are coming in the future, or at least I did not hear from them, who could be
Mm-mm.
something like a battle royale, or and therefore it's just all the things that are coming together, and then still the thing that we talked about, that you still have all your abilities, which makes it a little bit more different than, for example, Warzone or Fortnite. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, oh, mm, I think I would just say it's overall a great game, and I hope in the future uh, and I hope in the future it continues to be great.
Yeah. I mean, they hinted at season 9 being like their best ever, so I'm hoping like they've got something on the horizon. Like I've heard some stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I agree for my conclusion. Yeah, to me it's the smoothest game out there. It runs very well. Um, I wish their servers were slightly better. Like I still like every once in a while will like drop in and I'm in slow mo. But that's
Yeah,
like 1 out of every 100 games. Like there seems to be like really bad lag. Um, but yeah, like you said, it's like the competition isn't great. The new games that do come out are just not anywhere near as good with the battle royale aspect, and the
yeah,
older games are just not as fresh, like the Fortnites and the Warzones. The ones that
yeah.
are around the same age. Um, but yeah, I
It's
think like Rainbow Six hasn't really grown. They still have new seasons and new content and new, they call them operators. They still drop those all the time, but I like the amount of like live players or whatever in Rainbow Six is dying off too, and I would imagine they're kind of trickling this way. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
So it's time for Apex to shine. Let's
It
go,
is,
boys.
yeah. It's their time to like take advantage of everything. Absolutely. So
It's now or never. Let's do it.
absolutely.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, super easy. So yeah, you know, that's it's a prime market right now for taking advantage of all that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, last thoughts.
First of all, before we close this out, thank you for having me again.
Thank you for the idea. Yeah.
It's. I mean, oh God, I cannot speak it out. I'm sorry, but it has been as always a pleasure. Yeah, and it's always fun. And it's always fun chatting or talking with you.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah, I agree. And for those who don't know, obviously, English is not Kamio's first language.
No, not really.
Is it even like it's not even your second language, right?
I mean, it would be basically my second language.
Okay.
But it seems like I'm not really great at my second language, and then I still have this stuttering thing, which makes it even worse sometimes.
It's much better than my second language. So all the other languages I can speak, I only know profanity. So all's good. I know the
And
dirty
that's
words.
all you need.
It's enough to get me by, right? Or at least to offend somebody in another language. So. All right. Well, again, thank you very much for Kamio for dropping by and hanging out again today. And again, be sure to check out his channel. The link is in the description below. I said it right this time.
Oh,
so
nice.
go go check him out if you have not done so already. And sub. You should definitely sub to him and me. Hopefully, if you're watching this, hopefully you do that as well. So, but again, thank you very much for watching. And
click subscribe now.
Click subscribe or else. Yes, thank you very much for watching, and we will talk to you all later.